Have you been suffering with dry and itchy scalp? Has your scalp not felt really healthy lately? Well, it might be time to deep clean your scalp. Hi, my name is Dr. Dwella Moten Nelson, and I'm your healthy scalp specialist. Today, we're going to be talking about when do you deep clean your scalp? And also, I'm going to give you some great tips on how to deep clean your scalp. So, if you use different types of products when you're cleansing your face, we use an exfoliator, we use a moisturizer, sometimes we have a moisturizing foaming facial wash, all these different things we use to cleanse our face and keep our pores nice and clean. Many times we use the same shampoo and the same conditioner that we've used for years on our scalp. Then we wonder why our scalp is itchy or not happy, or see flakes on our clothing. When we're wearing dark clothes, we see flakes on our clothing from our hair, from our scalp. Well, this is a tip for you to know exactly when you need to deep clean your scalp. Now, we usually recommend deep cleansing your scalp at least once a month, especially if you use products on your hair, because the products that you put on your hair build up on your scalp. So you can't separate the two, washing your hair and not really cleansing and deep cleaning that scalp. So very important to scalp health. So if your scalp is a little bit itchy or you're feeling like it's a little bit oily or sticky, it could be that you're experiencing buildup from product. So any product that you use for styling, it could be mousse, it could be gels, it could be pomades, it could be oils, any type of product that you put onto your hair or scalp, you run the risk of potentially having buildup on the scalp. So we want to talk about that part first. What does it feel like when you have buildup on the scalp? So when you're starting to comb your hair or you're starting to brush your hair, if you're feeling your scalp and your scalp feels a little bit tacky, feels a little bit sticky, kind of like glue, it could be that you have buildup, but it also could be that your scalp has produced a lot of sebum, and that sebum starts to feel sticky on the scalp when it starts to build up. The first thing we want to do to evaluate if your scalp is ready for a deep cleanse is to feel your scalp with your hands, not with gloves, not with a brush, not manipulating with a comb, but put your hands down into your scalp and feel on your scalp and see what your scalp is feeling like. See if it feels tacky, if it feels soft, if it feels dry, if it feels flaky, if it feels itchy. If you feel any of those things, it might be time for a deep cleanse. And the second thing we'll talk about is inflammation on the scalp. If you're looking at your scalp and you start to see a little bit of redness or irritation, it could be that you have had so much buildup on your scalp that you've now started to have an overgrowth of bacterial growth or microbial growth on the scalp. That also can happen when you wash your hair and put oil directly onto your scalp. Your scalp is it's moist and it's a great environment for bacterial growth and microbial growth. So you want to make sure that your scalp is dry before you put any types of oils or pomades onto your scalp. You want to make sure that your scalp is dry. So that's very important, that piece. Many people try to put oils onto the scalp, and when they do that, you're essentially covering your pores, your follicles that are on the scalp. Just like on your face, you have pores on your face, you also have pores on your scalp. Same thing. And so you wouldn't take an oil and lather it on your face, a very thick, viscous oil, because eventually it will lead to you having zits or having acne on the face. The same thing can happen on the scalp. So you have to make sure that your scalp is very clean when you're starting to do any type of growth serums or any type of formulas that you're putting on the scalp to help your hair to grow. You want to make sure that your scalp is nice and healthy and your follicles are open and they're able to breathe and your scalp is nice and clean and healthy. So that's the second thing, the inflammation. So if you start to see inflammation on the scalp, it's also very possible that there is a microbial or bacterial overgrowth. How do you do a scalp cleanse? What are the steps to doing a great scalp cleanse? So we'll talk about that now. So the first thing I always recommend before you start to cleanse your scalp, you want to do a good massage to the scalp. Why do you do a massage? Because it increases the blood flow. If you have buildup or flaky scalp, or you have product on the scalp that has needs to kind of be lifted off, if you could do a good scalp massage before you start to wash your hair, not scratching it with your nails. You don't want to scratch your scalp. You never want to scratch your scalp with your nails because you could end up causing an infection on the scalp. Just like you scrape your hand, if you scratch your hand by accident, you want to make sure that you take care of that properly. The same happens with the scalp. So when you go into massage, you want to be gentle and you want to use the pads of your fingers. Never, never, never use your nails to scratch on your scalp because you can easily scratch your scalp. A good scalp massage, one thing that we recommend for a good scalp massage, Dr. Topic Oils carries a manual scalp massager. I love this thing. I use it all the time. I use it with my kids. I love using it. They love using it. They both have one on their nightstand in the bedroom. So before they go to bed, they massage the scalp before they go to sleep. But before you get ready to wash your hair, use that scalp massager and get all down to the scalp, not the hair, all the way down to the scalp, and massage that maybe about a minute or so before you start to do your shampoo. The second thing after you do your scalp massage, second thing you want to do is you want to use a good clarifying shampoo. And you may say, well, what's the difference in a clarifying shampoo and the moisturizing shampoo that I use? Well, a clarifying shampoo will strip any type of oil, anything on the hair and also on the scalp that may have built up over time. So you want to use that clarifying shampoo not very often, maybe once a month is what I recommend. And Dr. Topicals has a scalp detox that we love for our clients to use as a way to cleanse out those follicles, cleanse out that extra sebum or that overabundance of sebum that's on the scalp. It also helps to clear out the microbial growth and the bacterial growth that's on the scalp with that scalp detox. So something like a clarifying shampoo, or like I said, the Dr. Topic Oil scalp detox are perfect for you to use. We'll put the link there for you to find that scalp detox, Dr. Topic Oil scalp detox. And the third thing you want to do after you have massaged your scalp and you have washed your scalp with your clarifying shampoo or scalp detox, the next thing you want to do is rinse it with water. You want to rinse all of that out. And if you've had a very flaky scalp, it might be a good idea for you to take 1 or 2 days where you're not putting a very thick, creamy conditioner onto the scalp. This will allow the scalp to really breathe and have a moment where there's not product put directly onto the scalp. So if you've had issues with flakiness and oily scalp, itchy skin and irritation, you can really wait a couple of days and not put conditioner on the hair if you're going to be keeping it tucked away. If you have naturally curly hair, you always want to use a conditioner, but if you're going to use a protective style for a couple of days where your hair will be styled in a way that you don't have to manipulate it, you can always braid it up or do a style that you don't have to manipulate it and allow your scalp to fully dry and also allow it some time to breathe without putting product on it. So those 3 things you want to consider when you're wanting to do a deep cleanse for the scalp. Sometimes when you have a excess of sebum or excess of product on the hair and on the scalp, it can lead to your scalp feeling really irritated. And some people say it could be eczema, linked to eczema, it could be linked to seborrheic dermatitis, it could be linked to that. It could also be linked to just overall inflammation on the scalp. So if you think that your scalp is irritated and not as happy, having a rest period after you have done a scalp cleanse is a really great idea. The other thing is you want to consider that if you have not done really good scalp care, your hair is not going to grow. Dr. Topic Oils, our motto here is that a healthy scalp will grow hair. So if you haven't taken really good care of your scalp, you really are at the risk of having hair loss. You're at the risk of having hair loss, potentially because your follicles could be closed, your follicles could be clogged, your scalp could have inflammation. Inflammation easily leads to scarring. So all of those things kind of lead up to potentially causing hair loss. So we want to make sure that your scalp is nice and healthy, your scalp is clean. With all those things being considered, we hope that we will be able to help our clients, and also just in general that if your scalp is healthy, most people should be able to grow hair. Most people should have a healthy head of growing hair. That is really the whole focus. It doesn't matter the length of the hair or the thickness of the hair, but if your hair is growing, then your scalp is healthy. So, with those things being considered, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you now understand when it's the proper time to do a good scalp cleanse and also the steps that you take when you do a scalp cleanse. We hope that we were able to help you with those things. Again, this is Dr. Dwella Moten Nelson, your healthy scalp specialist. Thank you. Bye.